What's going on, leaders? This is your leadership coach here, Quincy Jackson, and I am thrilled, as always, to have you here with me today on this next episode of Leading Daily. As you already know, on this particular YouTube channel, we talk about leadership, how you can improve your influence, improve your impact, which ultimately, without question, is going to improve your income. All right. And we always talk about the fundamental skills that you need to build the foundation that leadership is built upon, which is trust within your team, within your people, within your leaders as well in your organization. And we give you principles that tie into the values that go into leadership so you can always make progress with the people that you lead, whether it's in your company, in your family, even your neighbors, your associates, the people around you that rely and need your leadership and you to become the best leader that you were designed and destined to be. So with that being said, today I want to talk about the subject of critical thinking. Critical thinking is one of the primary fundamental leadership skills that most people don't spend enough time developing because they don't ask themselves the right questions and they don't think through the information that comes to them. And so I don't want you to have that same experience. I want you to understand this skill, and then as you become more aware of your surroundings using this particular skill, is going to help you be better in multiple areas of your life. So critical thinking is just the process of gathering, analyzing, interpreting, and understanding information before you take action. It involves questioning, so always remember that. And then if you question what you hear, you can determine if the quality of the piece of information is relevant to help you use logical reasoning to reach the right conclusions. Okay, so you have to understand that when you have conversations with someone, especially if their opinions are different from yours, the best thing that you can do is understand them thoroughly to make sure and see where they're coming from. And even if you still disagree, the fact that you've listened to them and used critical thinking automatically improves your ability to make conclusions and even lead them possibly in a direction that you want them to go that's a better position than their current opinion or thought. Now, I know that was a lot, so we're going to break some of this down and actually go over a few ways, at least one way, on how you can do this effectively. All right. So, as always, before we can start to critical think, what do we have to do first? We have to listen. Okay. If we're not listening and we're just forming our own response or forming our own conclusion before we actually have all the information, then we're probably missing or misinterpreting that which we are hearing. So the first thing that you can always do with relates to listening is make sure that if you're not in a position to take down notes and if you're just having a conversation with someone randomly, just repeat back to the person what you heard so that you know what you have heard is accurate. So I would even say it exactly what they said word for word. Don't try to say what you think they said in different words, because sometimes people that speak, when they hear different words but that's different from what they said, is likely to not connect the right way. So listen word for word, repeat it back to what the person said. And if you need more information on that point, just ask them to elaborate and say, hey, do you have a story you can share with me that kind of ties this together? Because I'm still a little confused about this particular point and why you mean what you have said. Okay, that's a huge key right there. So if you have to start with the listening foundation first. Next, as you are listening to the person and you gathering information, you have to keep an open mind on what they're saying and why they're saying it. So once again, if I'm having a conversation with you and I already put in my mind the response I have to this one thing that you said in the beginning, I'm probably missing a lot of information that in the middle that ties toward that one thing. And then I'm probably also only going to hear the end, which is the last thing you said. But if I miss the majority of the middle, now I only have partial information, and I don't think I can make a fair and accurate conclusion based on what I thought I heard. All right. I see this happen all the time. Now, you might be thinking about this right now and ask yourself, when the last time you watched the video or watched a sermon or watched a speaker at an event, the moment that you hear them say something and you say it out loud, or you say to yourself, I don't agree with that, this is that, this is that, this is this, well, you're missing all the information that followed up that particular point, because the point wasn't complete. I see this and a lot of times as well. Somebody might say, well, I heard such and such say this. And so I'll respond and I'll ask, well, what did they say after that? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what they said. But they just said this thing right then. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. Well, because you started thinking about one point instead of actually listening all the way through until the end. So don't be that type of leader. Okay. If you want to develop greater leadership, the next thing you can do and always remember to do is be a better critical thinker. It's a game changer for you, because it automatically, and I mean, I really mean it. When I say the word automatic, I don't mean it by happenstance or just throwing the word around. I mean, it's like it automatically puts you in a greater position of influence with that person, regardless of whether you're trying to influence them or not. They'll actually appreciate that skill. They'll appreciate the fact that you don't just listen to one thing they said and try to put it in your own context. And next thing you know, you're way out in left field. And they're like, wait. I'm sitting here at home plate. Why are you way out there and I'm way in here? Let's get back on the same team. Let's get back in the same position. Let's get back on the same side. All right. Excuse me. So that's what I want you to focus on doing as it relates to understanding the people that you are having these conversations with. And you can do this with anybody, and you can do this with everybody. The key, though, I think, is to make sure you're doing this at all times with the right people. Some people, if they have a difference of opinion that's so out of the ordinary to you and is a moral problem or a moral issue, you don't need to think through that, okay? You know who you are, you know what you stand for, you know what you believe. But when it's information that you can use and you have determined that the quality of the information is relevant to the things that you're trying to achieve or the things that you're trying to help this person and yourself work together to accomplish, then that's when high critical thinking skills are crucial to the development and to the objective that you're trying to attain and reach and move toward, to having a better outcome in the future. So that's the topic we want to talk about today, is that you want to make sure that you keep an open mind on what it is that you are doing what it is that you're hearing, excuse me, when you're listening to the people that are speaking to you, especially if the information, the idea that you heard initially is contrast to that what you think and what you believe based on just information. Okay, we're not talking about moral issues. Like if somebody says they want to do something illegal, that's wrong, that's unethical, then you don't need to critically think that and go through that whole process. That's probably somebody that you don't want to spend a lot of time with or any time with, as far as I'm concerned. But when you are talking to somebody that you know you lead in an effective way, you want to improve the way you lead them to gain more influence, and ultimately you want to improve this over time and always be doing better. What you want to do is make sure that you constantly are keeping an open mind as you're listening to the person that's speaking to you. Whether this person, like I said, is speaking on a video, whether this person is speaking on a stage, whether this person is having a Zoom call with you or one-on-one, the more open-minded you can be to receiving the information that is being presented to you, you can process the quality of that information and make accurate conclusions, which will lead to better decisions, that's ultimately what leaders do. They make better decisions over time so that they can get better results over time. Okay, so that's today's video. I want to encourage you, definitely take this forward with you. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. We definitely appreciate that. Let me know in the comments what you got from this video. And then lastly, we ask that you share the video with somebody that you think can benefit from it, to just simply remind them what it is that you're doing and what it is that they can be doing when it comes to developing their ability to lead more effectively. And as always, we ask that you do subscribe so you can always be on top of the next video that we come out with. We always talk about leadership. We talk about what you can do to improve your leadership skills, the fundamental skills that go into building the foundation of leadership, which is trust among people that you work with, people that work for you, and people that work around you. And then we want to help you, as always, use these practical skills to improve your income as you grow within your organizations and within your team. So I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your day. Whatever you're doing and wherever you are, continue to be awesome. Continue to lead the people around you. And we will see you on the next video. Have a great rest of your day.